Welcome back to another episode of the podcast Tattoos Enzo. For those of you that are new here, I am Rod Priest. I'm a tattoo artist from Amsterdam. I'm specialized in lettering, portraits, and dark arts. And in this podcast, I'm having conversations with interesting people from the tattoo culture. And today we are joined by Brian. Brian has one of the coolest stores that I've ever seen. In my opinion, it's like the perfect mix between a neighborhood shop and a street art gallery.
Yeah.
And yeah, besides that, he's just a super cool guy. You might also know him from the Secret Garden of Amsterdam. Brian.
Yeah. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, man. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks that you made time to come here.
Yeah, for sure, man. Everything, always for the neighborhood, man.
Yeah, nice.
Always got time for the neighborhood.
So, how's your day been today?
Yeah, it's cold January day. First day with the new chaos in American politics. So we'll see what that does.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a good day. It's, relaxed.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I would like to start by asking you, like, where you're from, how you grew up, like stuff like that. Like, can you take us back?
Sure, man. My name is Brian Nicholas. I'm originally from New York City. I was born and raised there. I moved here in January of 2002, so just over 20-something years ago. I've worked in the music industry for a long time. I worked in the food industry for a while, and now I'm doing something. I have a street art gallery and a neighborhood shop, kind of mixed into one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you was growing up in New York, were you already into like food and cooking and street art and stuff like this, or?
I mean, I grew up in New York in the 80s and 90s, so a lot of my friends wrote a lot of graffiti. So that kind of street culture was always around me. It wasn't called street art then, it was the graffiti.
Yeah.
But now it's a mix. Now it crosses borders and boundaries, and there's a lot of interesting people that do it and are interested in it.
Yes.
I started cooking later in life. I've always loved to cook, but I just started cooking later. I was in the music industry for a while, and I thought, what else do I like to do and love to do, and that has a positive impact on people? And food was a good answer to me.
And what were you doing in the music industry?
Originally, I worked for Chrysalis Records way back in the day. I used to sign. I worked in the A&R department there.
A&R?
Yeah, A&R, signing bands.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I was signing punk bands and rock and roll bands back in the day. I was working with a woman named Debbie Southwood Smith, and she and I signed punk and rock and roll bands out of New York City. And then I worked for SBK and EMI was a label.
Okay.
And there I was doing marketing. And then I worked for Def Jam. And at Def Jam, I was part of Rush Management, which was the management company for a lot of artists that came out of Def Jam in the very beginning. And then later it became a management company mainly for rock and roll and heavy metal stuff.
Yes.
So when I was there, I was working with bands like Fear Factory and Biohazard, Downset, Earth Crisis, Madball. Yeah, it was good years.
And you said in the beginning you was like A&R?
Yeah, very beginning I worked in A&R with Debbie.
But is A&R like you need to tell the artists also like how to dress and stuff? Is this also part of
No, not necessarily. I mean, artist and repertoire. It's you're helping the company find artists and bring them in, and then after they're signed, you're helping with the development of them. You're helping to get their music and maybe their style down. Typically, an artist does what an artist does. You don't want to push it too much, but yeah, maybe a little sways here and there.
So all my customers always ask me when they are in the chair for a tattoo session, like, oh shit, what's your craziest tattoo story and stuff like this. But since you have so much experience in the music industry, I wonder, like, do you have any crazy music stories?
Wow, yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been to Ozzy's 50th birthday. That was pretty
Ozzy's
bad.
50th birthday?
Yeah, way back in the day. 1998, I think it was. 1998, 1999, something like that. That was a pretty wild experience. We were close. Fear Factory was close with Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne. So we got to do some cool things next to those guys. Mm-hmm. We were also the opening band Fear Factory was the opening band for the original Black Sabbath reunion shows in Birmingham, England in 1997.
Yeah.
So I was standing on stage watching Sabbath with Brian May and Henry Rollins. It was some pretty wild experiences.
Wow.
We also did a lot of time on the Ozfest with those bands. Those were really cool. Those summers out there on the Ozfest, those were great. Some amazing bands, some amazing artists. Yeah, things like that. I was lucky.
Nice, man. At the right place at the right time.
Exactly. There's cool things happening out there now. But my time was a great time.
Nice. When you were working in the music industry, you were still living in the United States, or you was already in Europe?
Yeah, this is all New York time. When I moved here to Amsterdam, I worked for Epitaph Records.
And
The very beginning, when I first moved here, and I moved here in 2002. So up until from 94. 94, I was working with a concert promoter in New York, and then I moved into the music industry proper. And then I moved here with Epitaph.
And what made you move here? Was it your work or something else?
I didn't want to be in America anymore.
Like that.
Yeah, I already saw what was going wrong,
Okay.
what the direction was, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the elections in Florida with the Bush brothers didn't sit right with me, and then the next year was 9/11, and I'm out.
Oh, he was not part of the sheeple.
No, man. Yeah, it wasn't for me.
And then, like, what made you pick Amsterdam? Because there are like loads of different places where you can go.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Spain for a little while, and I enjoyed that, but it was super Spanish. And I just felt like Amsterdam was a good city, it's a good crossroads, a good mixing ground. My father's sister lives here, which made it a little easier to come over. There's lots of music industry, international offices in the city, so that also made it easy to find work here.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just it was an instinct too. I just wanted to be here.
Yeah, like I used to be a taxi driver, and then when I had people from the United States, they always say Amsterdam is like a city and a village, like together.
Yeah.
You know? Do you also feel like this?
Absolutely, yeah. It's an international crossroads city, but it is a small, tiny village. You know, you can pretty much know most people here and cross paths with anybody, from the king to Smurfers. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, like that. And what made you open up a store in Amsterdam?
Well, this is the newest project I've had here. Before this, I was a chef. I had my own restaurant. I worked for different restaurants. I worked for different places here. And I don't know, I saw the opportunity. Corona had happened, and this shop sat empty on my street where I live for almost a year.
Yeah.
And I thought, now here's an opportunity. Maybe this guy's been sitting on this for a while, and it's a small enough size that it's not too crazy to have to deal with, and it's big enough that I could make something interesting out of it. And that's how it began. It was always meant to be something, a bit of a mix between a neighborhood shop and sort of an art gallery.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the plan.
So your name is Nicholas Groente and Fruit.
Yeah.
How did you come up with this name?
Well, I was going to call it the grocery or the grocery store, but my Dutch friends who were building it for me said they wouldn't build it unless I named it something in Dutch.
Yeah.
So I had to come up with a Dutch name, and then I thought something old-fashioned, something cool, like, everybody understands and recognizes Groente and Fruit in a sense as just a shop, a neighborhood shop. So I thought that was a cool idea. And then eventually people just had to figure out what exactly I was doing there.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the plan. I mean, people think that was like a leftover name or why they always wonder why. And it was a cool name, and I liked it that it was sort of neighborhood shop mentality. And then I always, anything you do, people have to figure out what you're doing there. So
Yeah, exactly.
to me, it was okay.
Yeah, I remember when I came in your shop, I entered and you was like, hello, everything in here is for sale. And I was like, what do you mean everything? And then I looked around and you had like art, food, drinks, wine, like patches, like sculptures, like so many different variety of stuff. I was like, wow, this is what he means with everything, because it seems like you have like everything inside of the store, you know?
Yeah. I've been it's been 3.5 years, and I've been collecting. Some of it was my own collection, and then some of it coming out of the secret garden, the art garden that we used to have, that developed. A lot of artists started to bring me work and leave me works for them to sell.
Yeah, so how did the secret garden end up happening?
So if you, on the street here, you've got my store, and then you've got my house is 3 doors down.
Yeah.
And then behind all of our stores and all our houses and everything are these big buildings that are actually the shopping stores from the Nieuwe Dijk. And a while back, they tore down one of these big stores.
Yeah.
And they left a big empty space back there behind my house and the store. And fortunately enough, my neighbor and I, we were able to climb into it.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, the old door, the old emergency exit door for that building space opened directly into my garden.
Into your garden?
Into my garden. So
Wow.
once that was open, then we were running.
Wow.
Then we were getting ready. I mean, we opened it initially, the space, because we thought it would be cool for the kids on the neighborhood. There's lots of little kids that live on our street. We thought it would be cool to let them have an extra space to play.
Yeah.
But then I saw these huge walls all over, and I thought immediately, oh man, I can call friends in here, and they'll paint the hell out of this place.
Wow.
And that's what we did. I started calling friends. I hang out at a bar around the corner from here in Café Belgique, and that little bar is the home base for a lot of international artists.
Yes.
So all I had to do was go around the corner and call a few of my friends that were doing this stuff and said, guys, come take a look at this amazing space. And they did, and everybody started to want to paint there. And then it progressed, and it progressed, and it progressed. And 3.5 years later, we had over 300 different artists.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I saw like a small interview you did on ep5 about this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why Amsterdam doesn't have like more of these things, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's surprising. I mean, you would think with so many buildings that go up and down, you know, there's so many spaces that this could happen. You know, we have the NDSM. We have different places that you can legally paint. You have in the east. There's a few different places around Amsterdam that you can, but not in a setting like this. And this setting was unique because it opened into my garden, because they were going to sit and leave the space empty for 4 years.
Yeah.
Because we weren't harassing anybody else while we were doing this. There were so many things that made it happen.
Yes.
You know, I mean, ideally, you would think that we could find other spaces in Amsterdam to do this stuff, but it's not as easy. It's not as easy to find an open air space like this. We were lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened to it now?
They've taken that space back and they've started to build a building. They had to tear down this other building, and now they're laying in a new foundation for a new building to go up, which eventually will be built in that area.
Yes.
And then maybe one day, 50 years from now, if they ever tear this building down,
Wow,
behind these walls, they're going to find some really awesome stuff.
Wow, exactly. Maybe like 2,000 years from now, some archaeologists, you know, will dig up. They were like, whoa.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, can you tell us about the process of choosing street artists that you showcase in your space?
I don't really have a procedure per se. I sometimes I invite people and I want them to come bring me stuff and I want to interact with them because they're very talented artists that I come across. Sometimes the artists are coming to me because they're through friends. There's lots of different reasons and why and situations on why I do it. I try to give everybody, whether they're someone that's kind of famous, that's been out there for a long time, or someone that's really new and just coming up, I try to give them the same treatment and the same respect. And I think that has garnered me with a good reputation to show people that you can do what you like. You know, there's a place for you as street artists go.
Yeah, talk about good reputation. Like, I think 2 weeks ago, I went to a party in Melkweg, and then I was wearing this t-shirt.
Hey.
And then I was like in the mosh pit and everything. And then this guy came up to me like, wait, do you know Brian? I was like, yeah. And then I was talking with Nikki Naeme. Nikki
Naeme?
Yeah.
Nicky's great.
And then we had a good chat, and I was like, wow, this means like Brian is certified.
Yeah, nice. Word.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Nicky's a cool cat, man. I'm glad to know him.
Shout out Nikki.
Yeah, shout out Nicky.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Do you think like street art and tattoos are like evolving in a similar way?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it compared, both of these things 10, 15, 20 years ago, they were really on the underground. They were really on the up and coming, and they say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now both of them I mean, you can't go down the street without seeing street art. You can't turn your head to see people around you without good tattoos and stuff.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
it's I think they've come hand in hand in a lot of ways. You know, I mean, I don't think they're exactly connected, but they've come up in a lot of in similar ways.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And when is something street art and when is it vandalism?
Yeah, you know, it's tough because street art and graffiti, let's say, you know, graffiti is about a name, graffiti is about a tag. Maybe that becomes a bit of vandalism if it's only bombing on something that you're just getting your name and tag out there. Those are my friends in high school, Jawan and things like this. That's what their goal was. Their goal was to cover it, you know? And I think then you cross into street art where someone uses a space to make something that the public can appreciate, not just the crew, not just themselves, but anybody can look at it and see that this is a cool work of art. And I think that there's a balance. You know, a lot of street artists come from graffiti, but a lot of graffiti artists don't do street art. There's a mix in there. There's a fine line, I think. But it's, you know, I don't think any of it should be considered vandalism, but you know, certain things just come off better. That's all. That's what you'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, what's the most exciting like art show or art piece that you had in your shop?
Wow, I've had some pretty cool ones. I had Cornbread, who's one of the original writers from 1967. I had him in my shop. I had Shepard Ferry and that crew come around from Obey. That was pretty badass. And then, you know, I mean, I'm blessed enough to have a lot of interesting, cool, talented friends, and they bring their friends around, and they brought in some really cool people into my life. So I've been blessed with that, yeah.
Nice.
But the biggest names, the commercial names that you guys would know, the London Police and Shepard Ferry and, you know, maybe Cornbread and, yeah, there's a few.
Yes, yes. In the meantime, I'm just checking if people that are watching on the live are like...
Shout out on TikTok.
There are a lot of people that say shout out NYC.
Yeah, no doubt.
And what borough are you from?
I was born and raised in the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Okay, nice, nice. Are you having any new projects that you're working on right now?
Yeah, we've got a few new things. One of them right on the St. Nicolaasstraat. You've got these 15 really big windows. Some of them are 2 meters high. Oh, they're all 2 meters. They're all above 2 meters tall. And some of them are 1.5 meters wide and some are 1 meter wide. And we now have permission to fill in those windows with works of art from some cool artists. So nice. As you come down the St. Nicolaasstraat, you have one set of windows that are from the Rietveld Academy that are lit up, and they stay there. They've been there for 25 years, and it's always new Rietveld Academy students that put their work in there. And just opposite those are a little higher up on the building opposite are these big empty windows. And if you come down the St. Nicolaasstraat, you're going to see as we fill them in. Yeah. We've got some cool artists that are going to do some amazing things in there.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
One question that we got from the live was, did you do graffiti yourself when you was growing up?
No, I didn't. I wasn't really good at it. I don't know. I couldn't. I tried to fill my black book. It didn't really work out. All my friends did. And I would kind of go out and run around with them and maybe try to help find places to get into buildings and you know, hold on to the 40 ounces and roll blunts and things like this.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I didn't write anything though.
Another question that we've gotten was, what is your most painful tattoo that you have yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've got my arms and stuff covered. I would say underneath here.
Oh, you have the armpit?
That was pretty gnarly, man. It wasn't my whole armpit, but the underside of my arm.
Yeah. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it's not so nice, yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, definitely spicy, let's call it.
And do you know, like, how many tattoos you have?
Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
Yeah, always looking for more though.
Yeah,
Maybe I need to sit with you, man.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And when did you take your first tattoo?
Oh, wow. 96?
96?
97? Yeah, something like that. I guess I was like very early 20s. Yeah.
And then were people like in your surroundings like a little bit judging you, like, are you a criminal? Like, what's up with this? Or
No, not really. I mean, my family was like, whoa. When I got a lot of my arm done, they were like, okay, it's going a bit far now. But other than that, nah. I mean, my friends, people don't judge. I don't run around people that judge. Run around with people that judge.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had so many friends that have them and get more and more, and I have a lot of friends now that are actual tattoo artists. It's a modern form of art.
Yes.
It's a cool thing.
And what made you get a tattoo, or what made you be into tattoos in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I had friends around me, and in the music industry, there were a lot of people covered in them, and I always just wanted one. I always wanted to start. I always wanted something. And then once you get them, you know how it goes.
Oh, man.
Then you're itching for more.
Yeah, man, these empty spaces, they begin to annoy you.
Yeah.
And do some of your tattoos have meaning, or you also have tattoos without meaning? Like, how is it for you?
It's both. It's both. I have one or two that have a bit of meaning to them. It's one with the Tao Te Ching, which is an Asian style thing. And it's about the natural flow in life. And that was one of my first ones. Try to remind myself that there is a natural flow in life and to stay on your path. And then some are pure, just old school, the Popeye anchor style.
That's a proper one.
Yeah. Just things like this. I don't know, original work things,
nice.
gypsies and banners, and
Yeah,
So it's a mix. I don't think they always have to have something, but it's nice if you have a couple that do, I guess, right?
Yeah, like
I've got a couple of things in the other ones up here that are mentions to a girlfriend I had, or a situation I was in, or just reminders.
to just remind, don't go back into that situation.
You never know, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, what's your favorite movie?
Wow, that's tough, man. I don't know. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner is one of my favorite movies.
That's the one with Wesley Snipes, yeah?
No, Blade Runner is the original one. Is Harrison Ford and Rutger Hauer, the Dutchie.
Then
It's from like the late '80s or the '80s.
okay.
The early '80s, and then they made a new version that's out in the last 10 years or so, and that one's pretty cool too. It's sort of a recap on what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And what's your favorite food?
Yeah. I don't know. Italian, Mexican.
Italian, Mexican?
Yeah, it could be.
Is it also like your favorite food to cook or just to eat?
Both. I like cooking Asian food a lot too. I was a chef for many years, so
you're
I got a nice mix. I don't really, it depends on my mood and what I'm in the mood for.
that's a proper answer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say one thing because there's so many nice things to eat.
Yeah, that's really true. What's your favorite music?
Yeah, punk rock and roll is what the background that I come out of. I used to go to CBGB's a lot as a kid, so hardcore and punk were always in my blood. But, good funk and soul, good reggae, I'm down.
So, how do you feel about, for example, now you have this Nirvana band merch in the Primark store, and then
I don't know what to make of that. Kids today don't even have any idea what that stuff was, really,
exactly,
what these bands were. A lot of people just buy things on the image. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess in one way it's good enough. I get as long as somebody from Nirvana is making some money out of that, then I think it's okay. I think it's good to keep generations learning. There's these kids I have this 16-year-old girl that works in my shop. She lives next door to me, and her and her friends have got a little band, and they do Nirvana covers. They know enough. They try to get into it. So, I don't want to hate on everything like that. But yeah, Primark, who knows how they get a hold of that stuff. I don't know how they get a hold of that brand.
But for example, I feel like when it comes to punk culture, especially, the general people hate on it so much, but like then in some type of way they still like culture vultures, is that a word? Like, for example,
culture vulture.
You can buy like crust pants, but I feel like crust pants you need to make yourself,
Yeah.
And then you can buy them pre-made in the store, and then people's like, oh, this is nice, but they don't know it's like a crust pants, and then it's like philosophy behind it and stuff.
Yeah. I made my own pants and all these things all throughout my life. I mean, I don't go and buy a lot of clothes. I wear things till they die, unless it's something from a friend or a gift, but I don't go out digging out new stuff. I try to use the old things that I have. Yeah. Kids today, they can buy it a dime a dozen. Easy come, easy go, though. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it rolls.
Yeah.
You know, I'm curious to see what the American politics do in the next year.
So, like, what are your expectations about that?
Yeah, you elect a clown, expect a circus. That's my expectations. I think it's gonna get darker before it gets dawn, before it gets light over there. You know, as far as
You mean Trump?
yeah, just the politics in general, just a sense. Yeah, but Trump definitely is.
You think he's like a puppet being a...
No, I think he's a dangerous individual on his own. I don't think he's really a big puppet for. I think that's what makes everybody nervous about him, is that he's a fucking wild card.
Like that?
Yeah.
He's just gone rogue.
He can go rogue, yeah. He may turn out doing something that nobody expects. Which I guess in some way that's what they're looking for over there. They're tired of the same old thing.
Yeah, like I'm not really too much into politics, but sometimes when I'm on Instagram or something, these videos about Trump are like popping up.
Yeah, I'm not really into it either, but it just happened yesterday, so we're gonna mention it, right?
No, but I mean the things that like social media is showing me is like that Trump is all the time saying, if I become elected, I can end the war, and like he's portraying himself like a peaceful guy, you know?
Yeah, he can portray himself how he likes, but we all know what he is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah, he's sketchy.
And then how you feel about Elon Musk?
Yeah, another sketchy character. You know, he's bought his way into a lot of places and made his name on other people's success. And now he's right up there as one of the main characters in this circus tent. So we'll see. I don't know. He makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody builds rocket ships to save humanity. I think they build them to show their muscle.
Wow.
You follow where I'm going.
That's like interesting point of view.
Yeah, I don't think he's really trying to save humanity. I think he's showing the world what he's capable of doing, and now what America's capable of doing.
And then what's your opinion about the Neuralink?
The Neuralink, what do you mean?
The Elon Musk is making this chip that can connect to your brain.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like now,
for AI, you mean?
No. This guy was on Joe Rogan podcast, like the first human that successfully can work with this chip.
Yeah? But it's connecting to AI, right? Or no? I think it's smart to be friends with AI. I think it's definitely something to be concerned about. So better be friends with you. Keep your enemies close in that sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really followed much about that.
Okay.
What you're asking me, the neurochip. But yeah, this is what Blade Runner was about. It becomes replicas. Becomes you don't know who's who anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
What's what?
Yeah. Like one of my favorite movies is The Matrix, and it also like is about the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like man versus machine. I'm afraid that's how we end up, you know?
I think it's inevitable. I think it's coming. We're letting it happen. It's slipping into our into everyday life.
Yes.
And we're comfortable with it, you know? We're happy to see what AI can create and what it can do. But it's keeping notes.
Yeah.
I think.
So in the final part of the podcast, I would like to play a small game.
Yeah?
So I give you two options and you choose one, yeah?
All right, we'll try.
So an exhibition of one artist or an exhibition of multiple artists?
Well, since the next exhibition I have coming up is multiple artists, let's take multiple.
So when will be your next exhibition?
Saturday, February 15th. At Nicholas Groente and Fruit on the St. Nicolaasstraat. We've got a group exhibition actually it's about the Secret Garden.
Oh,
so it's a
nice.
collection of artists that everybody in this expo has created or painted or sculpted or did something in the garden over the last 3 years. So this expo coming up has got to have some really cool, interesting artists.
And when it starts, like what time?
Starts at like 4 in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon, like I said, on the 15th of February. So just a short month away.
Nice.
Yeah. You can follow it to Nicholas_Groente_, and you'll find our Instagram. And on that, you'll see updates, and you can follow all the information coming out about it.
Yeah, we will put it now in the bottom of the screen, and also we will put all your links in the description of the video.
Nice.
So yeah, the second question is color tattoos or black and gray tattoos?
Depends on the tattoo, right? I like colors. I don't mind, but I think
Yeah.
black and grays, when they're done right, they're solid as fuck too. I think I think either one could be either one.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. So third question, painting or mural?
What do you mean, canvas or
Yes.
outdoors?
Yeah, canvas or just like a wall?
Yeah, that's totally different things. I mean, what do you mean? I love outdoor murals. I do, but I also canvases and books and things like this are dope too. But anytime you turn a corner and you see a dope mural on the wall,
Yeah.
whether it's like 2 feet wide or 20 feet high, it's a great experience. It's like, yes, look at that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say, and right now today I say murals.
Nice. Buying art or renting art?
Buying art. Buying art. Support the artists. Support the people that are putting it out there.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, before I made tattoos, I was making like art and I had some exhibitions. And then people were not always, but I got a lot of questions about people wanting to rent my art. But I always felt so weird about it,
Yeah, it's sort of strange. It's a little lack of a commitment.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's for a movie set or something like this. But I think in general, if you can afford to rent it for 6 months, then why not just pay for it and have the artist get what they need out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's my thoughts.
I agree. So last question, tattoo in a tattoo shop or getting a tattoo at a tattoo convention? What would you choose?
Tattoo shop. I think tattoo shops I like. I like coming into your home base. I like the artist to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't mind the big conventions because you can maybe cross paths with somebody that you wouldn't have before. I like it in that regard, but I like being in someone's home base.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
how I dig it.
And I've one last question because I'm really curious about this. Like, I feel like you have like a very big network. Is this the word in English?
Yeah, there's a word, network.
But like me, I find it a bit difficult to network in new places. But like, how do you get to the point where you have such a big network? Like, how do you network?
Well, I've been here a long time. I've lived in this city for a long time.
Yeah.
And it started out with one group of friends, and then I'm always an open-minded person, and finding another group of friends, and maybe they cross roads, and just being friendly, being open-minded, be listening to people, being interested, not only wanting to talk about yourself, but being interested in other people and what they do in their lives. And yeah, I think that in itself is a good way to start networking.
And would you say like, when it comes to networking, it's more important to go out to different places and places, or would you say it's more important to choose the right places you go to?
I think it's a mix of both. I think you don't know until you get to somewhere, so you got to try new
True.
places.
Yeah.
Got to be open-minded. But then also, if you're looking to network in the tattoo world, you want to hang out in places where these people hang out. Like, for instance, the street art world. You want to get to know street artists. You hang around Snot Museum, or you hang around my shop, or you hang around the Café Belgique, where people are doing these things. So it's both. I think it's both.
Yes.
Open-mindedness, but also knowing when and where to find the people you're interested in networking with. I don't know. I don't look at it like I go out to network for this or that. I go out to make friends and to meet people.
Yes.
That's my thing. I like to do.
Just like being genuine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think that helps.
Yeah. This morning when I was looking at your website, I saw that you was also doing like a catering.
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we do caterings for everything from a private dinner for 5 people or 4 people up to past hors d'oeuvres and small things for 200 people. I can do a mix. I mean, I was in the food industry for a long time. I had my own restaurant. I worked in catering businesses. I worked here at Sony PlayStation here in Amsterdam, cooking
for
for 200
PlayStation?
people. Yeah, I was the chef
What?
there, the in-house chef for Sony PlayStation.
Wow.
For my friend Cataline was the main chef, and I worked with her on and off over the years. And then, yeah, that was great. That was a wonderful experience too.
Are you also into gaming or not so much?
No, not so much. Not so much.
Yeah. So just one more time, if the people that are watching want to get in contact with you, how can they reach you?
You can do it through Instagram. You can come by my shop, or you can look at the website, nicolaasgroente.com.
Yes, we will put all the socials in the description. So thanks everybody for watching. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe.
Throw us up.
Thumbs up. Ciao.
Word.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, bro. Nice one.
Yes.